You are now listening to the sounds of Dr. B's Spot, a production of Bowden Enterprise Services, LLC. Join the podcast where love and life topics are discussed surrounding spiritual connection, relationships, finance, and becoming a better you through elevation. And now, here's your host, spiritual advisor and behavioral health clinician, Dr. B.
Welcome back to another session of Dr. B's Spot, Love and Life. I am your host, your spiritualist, your therapist, Dr. B. We are back in business and back in action. Hope all is well and you're doing wonderful. As always, here at the Spot, there's no time to waste, so let's hop on in. This week's topic, I need to be heard, not seen. This topic particularly popped up in my psyche as thoughts were flowing from the dome, aka my brain. I was setting up a manifestation process through my personalized dreams and ambitions. As we know, things take time to plan before they become fruition. My original approach was to take the leap on a platform where I could be seen physically. But that little voice of reason and guidance said, no, not yet. You need to be heard and not seen. I laugh. Because that wasn't what I envisioned on how I would make my mark. But the higher powers that be decided my path. They decided my voice was the tool that should be heard first before I was physically seen. Sometimes words that come from someone can be more impactful without the physicality aspect. So here I am, and here you are listening to me. How many of you all out there can identify with what I was just saying? Being heard but not seen. Taking those chances and listening to that inner voice. That inner voice sometimes make you laugh because you can't picture it at the moment because you had a vision outside of yourself and you were on the straight and narrow with what you pictured in your mind. And once you picture those things in your mind, it became a reality. But was that your reality? Or was that a figment of your imagination? But let's go again a bit deeper into that. Being heard and not seen. Sometimes spirit will speak to you, and if you don't follow the path, sometimes you'll miss your opportunity. So the inner voice that speaks to you is telling you and giving you direction. And sometimes you don't have the ability to see it naturally, but spiritually, you can identify with it. If you knew how to connect with both sides, having an understanding, sure, I've made up my mind to do this or to do that. And I've set forth path and a direction. And I'm going along this path. I'm not making any detours whatsoever. I'm just walking, and perhaps I'll catch a ride along the way and so forth, you might tell yourself. And, there's an elevator on the left-hand side. Okay, so you made that plan that when you got on that elevator, it's going to take you up to where you want to go, up those levels and onto, I don't know, maybe the 5th floor. So you have an idea. Once you get to the 5th floor, that's where the meeting area is, and that's where you were called to go to, right? So let's say the curveball was thrown your way as you're walking down the street. And then you said you was going to catch a bus, and you might have catch a train, you might have catch the elevator to get there. You had it all planned out. steps, the moment you was going to go there, what's going to happen, 5th floor. Then what happens? Somewhere along those steps, there's a detour. Sometimes the detour appears when you least expect. So the detour happens as you're walking. What happened is that another direction happened where someone intervened in the situation and said, hey, you might have known this person. Let's say you known this person and they say, hey, I got a ride for you, and you're talking to an old buddy and they're supposed to be bringing you to where you're supposed to, but they could have been an executive of a company and you tell them that you were, I don't know, in music and they want to hear a few of your tracks. You play it for them and they know somebody that knows somebody, and it was heading to a whole nother meeting while you was going on your way to the 5th floor. And that detour happened. And when the detour happened, you got on a whole nother path. Your opportunity arose and you took that moment. And the moment is that this person who was someone you knew, who stopped you on your way to the 5th floor, to a meeting room. You didn't have to audition with this friend because he's getting ready to set you up in a good way, because he's getting ready to put you into contact with a big record company, and you're about to land a big deal because he has a connects like that and he can do it. And your moment of what you thought for yourself wasn't really what was supposed to happen. What was supposed to happen is that inner voice deciding that you was going to take this ride, and on this ride, you was heading to the 5th floor. Friend came in and allowed a change to happen. Spiritually, a change happened in your motion. So in that motion, everything flipped and reversed, and now you're on a new path. And now your new path was intercepted because you listened to the inner you to make the decision that you would accept the friend's ride and accept the offer he was giving you. That was a sure thing. Rather than head to the 5th floor on a tossed coin, a win or lose situation. Now think about it. You didn't have to show up to the 5th floor in order to be seen, because it wasn't necessary at all. All due to higher power throwing the detour so you could be heard. I want you to understand that even if you're not seen, you have the abilities to reach further than you could imagine. If you were only just heard, don't dim your light by worrying about if someone sees you. Think about getting them to hear you. They will see you when the time permits. Your steps are ordered by the divine. Let your voice be heard.
Join us next time at Dr. B's Spot, where we dive into the real deal of love and life by tapping into your body, mind, and spirit. Don't forget to like, rate, and comment on each podcast that we drop. For all upcoming shows, reach Dr. B and all she has to offer on BowdenEnterprise.com and social media outlets under the moniker Bowden Enterprise Services. Peace and blessings to you and yours. We are out.